How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be diving into the world of Tarisland and seeing if it's worth your time or not. But first, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. Now, let's get into it. Tarisland is a new MMORPG that's recently gotten a global release, and unless you've been living under a rock for the last week, you've probably seen some of your favorite streamers playing it. The best way I could describe the game would be to call it a mobile version of World of Warcraft, because a lot of the models in the game look very similar to WoW, and the gameplay is like a simplified version of it as well. So if that's something you're looking for, you'll love Tarisland. There's a PC version of this game, so it can be enjoyed on the PC as well, but honestly, I think the majority of the players that will fall in love with Tarisland will be the mobile players. That's just because there's so many great MMOs out on PC already to choose from, but not everyone can afford a nice gaming PC to play your MMOs on. And we all have phones, right?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Plus, there's not many great mobile MMOs, and I've got to say, this is probably the best mobile MMO I've played. I haven't experienced many MMOs on mobile though. Because of that, for this review, I'll be looking at this game as if it's a mobile MMO, and not comparing it to other MMO giants that are built for PC, like Guild Wars 2. I'll still be playing it on PC though, for better footage. If you're looking for a new MMO to play though, and you're a PC player, I still think it's worth checking this game out. Lord knows we're all starving for some new MMOs, and Tarisland is free, so there's nothing really to lose. You can get your fix, and not even break the bank. But now, let's take a look at what you can expect from Tarisland. You're started off with a pretty cool intro cutscene, with great cinematics. I really like the art style the game went with. The lip sync was a bit off during my playthrough though, but hopefully that's something that'll get fixed soon. Once you're done with the initial lore, you're thrown into character creation, and you're given the choice between 9 classes. Currently, some of them are gender locked, but they are in the process of removing all gender locking in the game. You get to see quick previews of each class in action, as well as what their higher tier armor will look like before you make your final decision. I went with the mage. I then got to customize my character, which was decent, but nothing amazing. Hopefully, more options will be added in the future. From there, you're thrown into a tutorial in which you fight through some mobs, learning the mechanics, before getting to fight a massive dragon at the end, which is pretty epic. And they even teach you raid mechanics as well right off the bat, which is great, and something I haven't seen before from an MMO tutorial. Once you get to the mainland, you continue on with the story, which isn't really the most enthralling of stories, but you can always just skip the cutscenes and get right into the action. At the start, I was watching all the cutscenes, but later on, they started getting a bit long, so I just skipped them, and honestly, I think I enjoyed the game more just playing it and not listening to dialogue. The lip sync really threw off my immersion, and I wasn't really relating with any of the characters anyway. From there, you'll continue the story into the first main city, and then they stop holding your hand and just let you go off and do your own thing, and this is where I had the most fun. I just look at the missions available on the right side of my screen, and go to the ones that sounded fun. I did this until I was high enough level to continue the story, went and knocked out the story missions, and then repeated the process till I hit the max level for the day. There wasn't any revolutionary kinds of quests I experienced, just the basic intro MMO quests, but I was having fun learning my character and getting stronger. But that's where Tarisland did things a bit differently with their release, that some will love and others will hate. And for those of you getting into this game a couple weeks from now, you'll not even have to worry about it. But each day from the release, the level cap was increased slightly, with new dungeons being unlocked, and more of the story as well. For me, as someone with a full-time job, this is great for me, as I could get on for the short time I had to play each day and catch up with the players who had more game time than me, allowing me to feel involved with everything the launch had to offer. But I do get how it can be frustrating for some being time-gated, especially MMO players who love to grind for hours. But each day, I'd get on, try out the new content, and then get off when I was done, and it's been a really enjoyable experience so far. That's not to say everything is perfect, it's still a new game, and a lot needs to be improved and added, but from what I see in Discord, the devs have a close connection with the community, and take community feedback very seriously, which is a very good thing. For me, as a person who isn't the biggest fan of tab target, I'd love an action combat option in the game, to make the gameplay feel a bit more fluid. I think that will open the game up to a much larger potential player base as well. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of their gearing system the game currently uses. There's no visual progression in the game, so pretty much all the classes look the same early on, until people get some skins. That being said, there are some epic looking skins, and I like that a lot of them are locked behind game challenges versus being bought with real money. But I would have preferred it if each individual item had an individual look, and then maybe throw in a transmog system for the skins for the endgame players to play around with. I assume a lot of people will have this complaint as well, so hopefully the devs will see it and change the system. The mount system is something I really enjoyed in the game. There's tons of cool looking ones, with various ways you can get them, plus you can gain some perks for them as well, that make them a lot more powerful, or just change them visually, like one of them that will make your mount a lot bigger than it usually is, if you want to flex on everyone. They do still need to work a bit on the movement of the mounts though, as there's no turn animation yet, so it can look a bit funky, especially when jumping and being able to change direction midair. There was a couple of scenes throughout my playthrough that showed water mounts and flying mounts, which are really cool. I haven't seen them in game yet, but if they had some flying mounts or plan on adding them in the future, that would be a really cool addition. They also have a pet system, with some pretty cute looking pets you can collect. I'm not the biggest fan of pet systems in MMOs, and I haven't really played any games that have done it very well, but it's there, and I'm sure a lot of the player base will enjoy collecting pets. Probably the most fun I had throughout my experience with Tarisland, though, was the raiding and dungeons the game has to offer. There were some pretty epic battles and cinematics in some of the dungeons I played through. The mechanics in them as well were a lot of fun, and kept things interesting and challenging. Probably my favorite mechanic, which I hadn't played before in an MMO, was mid-boss battle. One of the bosses turned me and my teammates into sheep, and a bunch of big wolves spawned, chasing you down, and you had to get away from them for as long as the timer ticked down. It was great, and was a nice change from just spamming abilities at the boss. There's also simpler mechanics, like go squash the small spiders, or hit the fire orbs to prevent the boss from healing. It's small things, but it makes the content feel less brain dead. They also throw those cool unique mechanics into random missions as well in the open world. Like for example, one mission I had to dodge barrels as I made my way up the hill, Donkey Kong style, and another had me take a test at the end of the mission, which made me realize maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, because I got a lot of the questions wrong, but luckily you could just choose the other option if you got the question wrong. You didn't fail the mission. Currently, PvP is time gated, so I wasn't able to experience it yet, but from what I see online, and hear from other creators, it looks like it's a good time. I just feel the devs need to get rid of the time gating as soon as possible, because not everyone is in the same time zone. I noticed the same thing with the auction house. I went to sell something to complete a mission, and it said the auction house wasn't open yet, which was really frustrating because I wasn't able to complete the mission I had. Also, because the max level is still not obtainable yet, it's very hard to tell how endgame combat will feel, or how classes will be balanced, or even how the endgame gearing system is, but initially, it feels pretty good, and no classes seem too overpowered. When it comes to the world you're playing in, it all looks nice, artistically, but it just doesn't feel that memorable, despite having some stunning zones. Most of the fun I had was inside the dungeons, and not in the open world zones. Maybe that'll change though the more I play it, but there's just some games where the world grips you right from the off. There's also some pretty silly things you'll find out there, like a magical floating swing, or a duck seesaw that you and another person can get on. Some people will love this, some people won't. I'm pretty indifferent to it, but I'm just warning you ahead of time. Honestly, if someone were to ask me, should I play this game, I would say for the most part yes, but there's a couple of caveats as well. If you don't have a powerful PC, and play a lot of games on your phone, this is 100% play, as there's not many other games of this level of polish out there on the mobile market. I would still say it's probably easier and better to play on PC though, or even your laptop, but it won't require some high-end PC or much space to download either. I would also recommend this game to newer gamers trying to get into the MMO genre, as it's a great gateway MMO. It'll teach you all of the raid mechanics you'll find in MMOs, the progression systems, the roles, and all while keeping your skill bar at a level that's not too overwhelming for newer players. So it's a great game to download for your kid or your significant other if you want to get them into gaming, before graduating them to a more complex MMO in the future. The people I would recommend avoiding this game are the people who've been playing MMOs for years, and have played and gotten sick of the current best MMOs out there, and are looking for a new forever MMO to sink thousands of hours into. If that's what you're looking for, you'll probably run out of content in this game sooner than you'd like, and the mechanics might not be as polished as previous games you've experienced, which might ruin your experience. I will say though, if you're that kind of player, it still wouldn't hurt to give the game a go. It's not a very big download size, and it's free. You can get in there, and after a couple of hours, if you're not having fun, you can drop the game. No harm, no foul. If you're enjoying it though, keep going. I got a very reasonable amount of hours of fun out of Tarisland, and it didn't cost me a penny, so I'm satisfied with my experience. Plus, I still have countless hours yet to come as I finish off my grind to max level. But let me know if you've tried out Tarisland already, and what your experience with it has been like in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video. If you'd like to see me review Guild Wars 2, click on the video to the left. Or, if you'd like to see me review New World, click on the video to the right. And a massive shout out to all the channel members and patrons who help support the channel, seen on screen now.